Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 619 of the DrunkNerds podcast. I'm your host, as always. I'm Tyler. And joining me, we have the man, the myth, the legend. And he's going to take you for a ride. Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
I'll tell you what, man. I have been on a high for this entire week. I'm now running on fumes because of how wild the work week can be. But I am ecstatic. I am happy. I am definitely feeling like I want to fucking play some fighting games. But I am in a great mood. Tyler, how have you been doing?
Oh, just fucking awesome, Gables. Just fantastic. I had a little bit of a work accident yesterday on Friday, Saturday night as of recording this. Um, Hurt my ankle. I'm now in a walking boot, so that's fun. I'm having a great time here. My dog doesn't seem to understand when I let him outside. That I take him for a whole walk around like a court, like our square in my apartment complex. He does not understand. Hey, I can't do that. Like we're gonna do like a half a walk. We're gonna do like a quarter of that. And we get to like the part where we go to turn, and he looks it back and I'm like, "Where are we going?" I'm like, "We're going back, buddy." So yeah. But yeah, I'm doing all right.
Oh,
I got some fun painkillers and muscle relaxers. So that will, dude. I took one last night. I don't take not a pill guy at all. I'm very like uh, tolerance, I guess, is very low to like pills and stuff, even like melatonin and shit. Uh, I took muscle relaxer last night. Slept for 11 hours. It was fantastic. Let me tell you, it was great. Best night's sleep I've had in years. So I see why people get addicted to these things. This is fan. I'm like, man, I can just sleep. This is great. I did have a weird dream, Gables. So you know the TV show House?
yeah.
I've never watched an episode. I don't know if I've actually ever watched a minute of that show. And I had a dream last
Yeah.
night that I was on the House Reddit page.
Right.
I don't know why. I just was me going. I got really deep into the House Reddit page. That was my dream. I don't know what the fuck that was about. I just dreamed about House. I don't know why. It was a very weird
Dude,
dream.
you need to kick off. You need to freaking cut off the sweets before you
No,
sleep.
this is for the pills. My sister, she works at a hospital, and she's like, I was like, oh, you're gonna probably have some gnarly dreams from taking these. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, you can. I guess people can have some weird dreams from some really vivid dreams. Um,
Bro. Dude, when you think you said like bizarre dreams and stuff, they're like people that don't even take like certain drugs or something like that have the fucking crazy bizarre dreams, dude.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, yeah. Like I'm not like I'm sure like I have dreams, but I really don't remember them.
Right.
I've talked about before in this podcast that like I can't have like dairy products like 2 hours before bedtime, because
Hmm.
that will like give me like crazy nightmares. So like I do have that, but I didn't have any. Like I literally
Oh, she.
I didn't like eat anything for bed or anything. I just took my muscle relaxer and yeah. Anyways, I slept. It was fantastic. So if there's one positive, I'll be sleeping like crazy. Hopefully for the next 2 weeks. So that's fun.
Right.
Showering, not fun. Very dangerous.
Oh.
But I might break my other ankle. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah. Otherwise, other than that, I'm doing all right. It's like I the biggest downside to this whole thing, honestly, Gables, is it didn't happen a month later when Instant Play Football came out.
Oh God.
Because if that happened, I'm like, I'm out like 2-3 months. Fuck yeah, it's fine. I don't know. Hopefully it's only a couple weeks, but uh, like man, like you could have just told me, Tyler, you're off for 6 weeks, 6 months. Like that's fine. I got NCAA football here. I'm good to go. But unfortunately, no, it had to happen now. Where I'm waiting. I'm just gonna be sitting there thinking about. Now I'm gonna be stuck at home just thinking about NCAA football for the next 3 weeks or so. So yeah. But yeah, other than that, though, Gables, I'm doing okay. I can't drink though while I'm taking these pills. I know some people are like, "Oh, you can drink, totally fine." There's people that do this all the time. I don't do that. I'm hypochondriac about that kind of shit. Is that the hypochondriac? I don't know.
Hmm.
So I'm drinking water. But luckily, Gables said that he's drinking for two this week. So his cup has a gin and tonic in it. So that's good. But anyways, people don't know what you're here for. This is a video game podcast, I swear, where Gables and I get together every week, talk about video games, everything we love and hate about them.
Mm.
So if you guys like all this, enjoy the show, we would appreciate it if you check us out. We've had like nice little bump in subscribers the last few weeks. A lot of it had to do with like Summer Game Fest and everything like that. So if you guys can continue to support us out there, if you're just joining in the last few weeks, appreciate the continued support. Like, subscribe, check us out. We're on podcast services as well. So if you want to check us out on there, everything, we really would appreciate it. And also, if you listen to us on podcast, just go to us on YouTube. Even if you don't use YouTube, just go over there, hit the subscribe button. You don't have to do anything. We're trying trying to slowly get to 500 subscribers. That gives us a nice tier where we can actually start making some money off this thing. Then we get to 1,000, we can really actually start making some money off this thing. So that'd be great if you can go there and support us and help us out, because we meet all the other qualifications of watch time, putting out enough videos, everything like that. We just need to get to the subscriber level up, and then we're golden. We can start making like 12 cents a video or something like that. So that'd be great. But yeah, Gables. Pretty much this week is just going to be the Nintendo Direct, and I'm really glad last
Yep,
week that we just said we took the chance that to do the predictions last week, and not wait.
we had a feeling.
Yeah, yeah. I was talking to people and it sounded like it was pretty good. Then also I didn't realize it. There was like a Among Us leak that there was going to be like some new updates from Among Us coming out on Tuesday last week, and that I guess people were like, oh, like that kind of like leaked that the direct was happening on Tuesday, which I didn't see that until after we did the podcast, so I
Huh.
didn't know that. But anyways, they announced Monday that we had a direct on Tuesday, June 18th. So start off here pretty big. Actually, before we get into it, Gables, um, don't give a score yet. We'll say the score for the end.
Yeah,
What'd you think of the direct?
I thought it was fantastic. From top to bottom, I thought it was a fantastic showing. There was definitely a lot of surprises. It definitely outscored a lot of my expectations, which at the Nintendo Direct stuff, I usually have it like with very low expectations and stuff because I only expect to see like maybe a couple things like hopeful for. But because it being the last year, like pretty much like one of like the twilight years of like Nintendo Switch, I thought like going into year 8 and stuff that they would not have the type of direct that they had with this one.
Yeah,
I mean, they had some major first party games that are coming out. They got like freaking they got like all these crazy like third party stuff. I mean, yeah, we did see some bit of remasters inside here. I mean, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, that was one of them and stuff. We did end up getting like Switch Online stuff, which you thought, Tyler, that that was going to be a predominant thing that was going to be in there. Yeah, the 4 virtual console games and stuff with the oh god, the 2 Game Boy Advance games and like the 2 N64 games
yeah.
and stuff
Perfect
like
Dark,
that.
Turok, Four Swords, and Zero Mission.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. And quite honestly, it's like some of the biggest surprises just came out of nowhere, and just off the cuff. Just like no build up, nothing. I mean, hell, case in point with the Marvel vs. Capcom like arcade collection.
yeah.
Nobody thought that was gonna be there.
No,
Nobody thought because quite honestly, when it comes to a lot of the content and stuff and a lot of the fighting game stuff, I mean, I I was definitely not only surprised though, I was freaking out when that got announced because Marvel vs. Capcom was dead. It was literally dead. It was locked behind all sorts of Lego stuff with Marvel directly. Marvel and Capcom working together to get that crossover and stuff, even on the 360 and the PS3 had a lot of leaps and like loops and stuff to go like get into. I was overhearing watching one of the Maximilian Dude's videos upon the matter because he was involved in side communications between Marvel and Capcom with those releases that were on there and stuff. But the fact remains is there are some people that don't understand the severity of that announcement in general, which honestly this one ended up being my best, like my most favorite thing about this direct. Not only was Nintendo able to like get a big announcement inside here that just made universally almost everybody happy, but they ended up getting one of the most unlikeliest of things that was a genuine surprise to the
yeah,
vast majority of not just like say common every people and stuff, but also for fighting game fans because this is stuff that literally fighting game fans have been fighting over, like fighting for the over the past not just few years, some of us are like over a decade. It's because Marvel vs. Capcom, that series is very much important. MVC2 especially because that is one of the greatest fighting games of all time that was not available for purchase after like say 2014 because you didn't have any legitimate way of playing that game or any of the other MVC or even the first MVC, or even like the ones before that, without going on to things like Fightcade in order just to emulate a whole bunch of different stuff and do a lot of things with Parsec and all this other stuff. It is just crazy to think that we are getting by the end of this year a collection of all these games, like say X-Men versus Street Fighter, X-Men Children of the Atom, the Punisher arcade game, like Marvel Superheroes versus X-Men, like MVC1, MVC2, all in a $50 bundle with rollback netcode. I mean, granted, yeah, there's no release on the Xbox like platform and stuff like that, but I'll be perfectly honest, man. You got the PC, you got the PS4, you got the Switch and stuff. It seems like most gamers have multiple systems anyway. I mean, I'm just happy to get this game bundle out and actually announced and stuff like that, dude, because long story short and stuff, I got a lot of history with this game series as well. MVC2, that is one of my most favorite fighting games of all time. And so when this thing gets announced, I was absolutely freaking out. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it so bad that even after that that 2-minute trailer or something like that for the announcement that was over and they go into Mario Party, I'm like thinking to myself, fuck Mario Party. Give
Yeah.
me the fuck over to do that
Well,
shit.
fuck Mario Party in general, but yeah, especially in that circumstance.
I'm, and quite honestly, no offense to anybody that's listening and or watching and loves Mario Party. I mean, I don't hate the franchise. It's just when I see possibly one of the greatest moments in fighting game history happen before my eyes with a revival of Marvel vs. Capcom, and then all of a sudden anything after it would have met with the same response. It just happened to be a Mario Party announcement.
You don't have to apologize to Mario Party. They don't deserve any apology. That franchise has destroyed
Oh,
multiple families and friendships over the 25
dude.
years.
But like I was saying, man, I got a history playing the Marvel vs. Capcom games. I tracked down that game on PS2 back in the day, like at pawn shops. Like, I kid you not, the mid 2000s, I had Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on the PS2, which is considered one of the worst ports of that game. Oh my god. Back around 2009. Back around 2009 when it did release on Xbox Live Arcade and PlayStation Network, I got them both. I got them both. I got so into playing both of those games online, and that's because I love the frantic like nature of the games and stuff like that. 3v3 fighting game. A lot of my favorite characters that I've watched growing up, like say for X-Men and like other Marvel content. Some of my favorite characters I've seen for the Capcom side, like Mega Man and like Street Fighter stuff, like Ryu and Ken and Kuma and all this other stuff. Oh god. And plus to this day, I still have one of the rarest achievements that I've ever gotten on Xbox Live Arcade, and that's by like I think it's what was it? Winning over 100 rank battles or
Jesus.
something like that in NBC2 for just the Xbox version. But the fact remains is like I went out of my way to literally track down the Dreamcast versions of MVC 1 and 2 this year. And I bought those and I spent over $100 for that damn shit. And I thought that was money well spent because I got those for the Dreamcast. I played through those Dreamcast ports. I enjoyed every fucking moment of it. And then seeing something like this, I am one of many hardcore MVC fans that don't care where you're going to play this game. I just want to freaking play it because that is the stuff that I had to make do with. I still have a 360 and PS3 to play that game online. I still have my PS2 port and stuff like that because even though some frame rates are missing, some animation cells are missing and stuff, that's something that I do enjoy playing. And then now I'm just getting all of these excellent fighting games, not only on like the Nintendo Switch, which I've pre-ordered the copy for the Nintendo Switch. I have it paid off, for God's
Hmm.
sake. I am definitely getting it on PC as well. It's one of those rare games where I'm going to double dip because this is one of my favorite fighting games of all time, alongside Third Strike, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm literally if you guys watched like Maximilian Dew's reaction to like the MVC announcements, that was me almost to a T. because I could not process anything like fast enough. I was literally standing up in my seat with my freaking hands like grasped to my head. I'm like, what? Like what? I was literally screaming and stuff like that. My fucking parents was like in the other room or something like that. Like it was so funny, but they're just looking over. It's like, oh, just Gabe being Gabe. But anyways, but oh god, and then what's funny enough, I had the same reaction as he did after that initially thing's like, wait,
Yeah.
go back, it's a Switch exclusive, it's go back, and it's like, uh, I didn't even care about the next game. But honestly, to me, there were some fantastic games that were announced in this Nintendo Direct. The top one for me is going to be that MVC bundle. And it's so fucking crazy for me to say that because there was a Zelda game announcement that looked awesome. There was Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. We saw the gameplay of that, and that looked amazing. But, oh God, that's just. Oh, and not God! I even forget about the Dragon Quest 3 HD remake. That looks so
Yeah.
crazy,
2D
and the
HD.
and and then the 2D HD stuff and the first two games coming out next year that are going to be remade. This felt like a direct that was aimed towards me. Even the freaking Miles Edgeworth collection. I love Phoenix Wright, and those are the only collection of games that I've wanted to play because the Phoenix Wright, no, like the Miles Edgeworth, the whole, oh god, that DS game that came out late in in the late before the 3DS was introduced. The Miles Edgeworth game I never had a chance to play. Its sequel was locked behind in Japan and stuff
Yeah.
for like literally over a decade. And now I'm having a chance to play that when it comes out. Oh
Gables
my
is breaking
gosh.
down.
Dude, not just breaking down, dude. Like I told you, I was so happy after that freaking direct. It literally powered me through the entire week, and it felt amazing.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Oh god! But what were your thoughts initially, Tyler? What are your thoughts on Nintendo
I should have
Direct?
went first because I just feel like I'm gonna be a Debbie Downer here. So like, like I should have just went first and like teed you up after that. Like I
Oh
liked the
man.
direct a lot.
Okay.
No, I really did. I really did. In the context of like this being year 8 of the Switch and where we were last week. So like out of a 1 through 10, you were like at a 6.5 and I was like at a 7. Like we did a whole prediction
Right.
show and we were predicting like remakes and like ports and stuff like that, and we got some of those. We like I think the
Yes.
biggest thing we were thinking was Metro Prime 4 would be there, and then like
Yep.
we were predicting we'd probably see a Mario Party of some sort, and that was like I think as big as we got. Well, obviously we've got both of those, but I think that was like the highest. And like everything else was like ports, NSO, random, shit like that. We Dragon Quest 3 we thought would be there as well.
Hmm.
There's a couple things that I brought up to you like kind of somewhat jokingly might be there, and we like kind of jokingly like shot him down and stuff, and ended up actually kind of sort of being there. So which is pretty funny, which we'll get to. But yeah, like I came away from it like I don't think this is like if for year 8, looking at this like the first party stuff, like the first party and like the exclusives to Switch, like I think this is like a pretty good holiday lineup for the Switch. But if this was like like 2018, 2019, I'm like this is kind of a middling year, kind of thing. But I think for like the 8th fucking holiday of the Switch, this is great. This is it's so much, like you said, like
Exactly.
so much more than we thought it was gonna be. Like is it? I think it's better than the Xbox showcase? Like no, not at all. There was 18 first party games there. Like they had all the big guns were there and all that. But I think like just like Nintendo just brings pure joy with their games. And it's just like even though like yeah, I think there was bigger and better games at the Xbox showcase. Um, like just like the excitement and the high you kind of feel from like I don't know what it is about Nintendo. I don't know if it's just like growing up being like being like fans of them since like our childhood. Maybe it's just part of like it kind of captures our childhood in that sense. But like man, like even like their like B and C tier games, I'm just like man, I'm pretty excited for these. So like I don't know if I'm gonna buy all of these. Definitely gonna buy one of them, and we'll talk about it later. But yeah, I can't wait. Like um, I came away pretty positive on this one. I liked it quite a bit. Like I really enjoyed it throughout. Like there was obviously there's like a few like there's a handful of games here I'm like we don't give a shit about. They're just here for marketing reasons. But like
Right.
I think the bigger stuff for the most part paid out. But let's get into it. So we started off here a lot. I mean, this right off the bat, like this was more than I thought it would be. We had Mario and Luigi Brothership. That's coming November 7th. This is the first Mario and Luigi game since I think 2015. This is the
Yes.
first one that doesn't include Alpha Dream went out of business. I can't believe I still can't believe Nintendo like let them die. They should have just bought them. Um, but anyways, this is the first one not made by Alpha Dream. This is like this is the first one in nearly a decade. Um, the third Mario RPG game in less than a year, which is pretty wild. We got Mario RPG last year. We got Thousand Year Door just a few weeks ago, and then we're getting this in November. So pretty wild. I think if you're a Mario RPG, we went from like you're getting nothing to all of a sudden you're just getting a fucking boatload of them. I admittedly I don't know a lot about the Mario Luigi games. Like I think I played the first one on is it Game Boy
Oh, they're
Advance or
fantastic.
Game Boy Color like long time, but I never finished it. Like I only played a little bit of it. But obviously they're very much loved. But I don't know. I thought I don't. This isn't. Excuse me. This is not a game I'm super pumped for. Probably not going to buy, especially in November. Probably just not going to happen. But I don't know. Gables, what was your thoughts on this one?
I thought this game looked freaking great. I'm not even kidding, dude. I mean, seeing the reveal of Mario and Luigi all throughout that thing, I'm like, who the heck is making this? Who the heck is making this? I know Alpha Dream's
We
dead.
still don't know.
It's we still don't know, but everything that I saw in that trailer looked good. I mean, the visual presentation looked great. It had the traditional sort of like Mario and Luigi style of like turn-based RPG gameplay. There was some obvious gimmicks and stuff for some of the boss battles that they generally do. I kind of like the whole theme in regards to like electronic kind of base like enemies or something like that or characters inside the game. Like you see the little like this little girl or something that looks like it's a plug outlet or something like that.
Yeah.
The outlet faces and stuff like that. That whole like that little flying creature that just tells you it's like and by the way I'm not a pig because it looks like a flying pig and stuff like that. But then you see one of those enemies and stuff that's literally like an audio like microphone jack or something like that. That's an enemy, and just the creativity of some of the characters inside there look pretty fun. But like I was saying though, it's like this is definitely a surprising thing to me because I never thought that we'd get like three Mario RPG games in the span of like a year. That's crazy. I mean, it's not even going to be like over a year or something like that since Super Mario RPG had its remake. We just got Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door remake, and now we're getting a brand new Mario and Luigi game entitled Brothership with all of that other like crazy wackiness inside of like that whole thing. Because here's the thing, the Mario and Luigi series are known for a couple things. One, for the turn-based RPG style of gameplay that is pretty fun to actually experiment with and stuff. And that sometimes can be challenging, especially with timing stuff. But a lot of the characters inside these style of like games and stuff, the humor in the games are pretty freaking cool. I think they're actually some bits of the humor do play in good parts. I can remember me playing through bits of like the original Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga and stuff with going and like facing off and like counting characters like Flawful and stuff like that, and at then with Bowser and stuff. In that first game, I think it was like he loses like his memory or something, and like he has like he has amnesia, and he's like the lackey of some other like enemy or something like that. But it's just how like a lot humor plays a large role inside the Mario and Luigi series. I mean, you even see like some bits of it inside the trailer and stuff where like Luigi gets launched out and stuff like that. His head's slowly buried in the ground, and Mario just looks over, like, "Hey, Luigi!" But yeah, this definitely looks like it's going to be a fun ride, and I'm absolutely floored at how good this game looks. It's like this is like the first 3D style of Mario and Luigi that we've had a chance to see because it's always been delegated to handhelds, Game Boy Advance, DS, 3DS, and we hadn't got one on the Switch until
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like the one I really did like that Mario Luigi Paper Jams was just fucking terrible. So I think the thing I'm like excited for is like it of it, like the thing like if I do buy it, it's gonna be I think it's gonna be the story and the comedy. Like that's like the thing that carries you through. It's like it's not the gameplay. The
Yep.
gameplay is like fine, it's good. It's just like it gets you through. Like but what sells it is the characters. It's the story. It's the it's all the comedy and everything in it. And it is exciting to see though like the actual like you were talking about all those like electric enemies and stuff like that. And like they're actually using like non like they're creating their own characters for this because like that was like the big thing.
Yes.
Like Miyamoto famously was very upset about Thousand Year Door, and we again it's like replaying Thousand Year Door, a couple weeks ago. It reminded me of like oh, this is what I like. I grew up loving that game. And it's like this is like the things I loved about the Paper Mario games growing up was like all these unique characters, like the comedy of it, and like we've known since like the Paper Mario games have like, really fallen off because Miyamoto said you can't create new characters; you had to use characters already established in the Mario universe. So like that's why we got to do
Alongside, not just that, Tyler, but alongside like just terrible gimmick mechanics and some of
that
that
too.
stuff,
Yes, yeah.
especially with Sticker
Sticker
Star.
Star's
Freaking
abortion.
hate Sticker
It's
Star.
fucking terrible. It might be the worst Nintendo game like made ever. Maybe I don't know. Is that like first party
I
game?
wouldn't say made ever, dude, but when in
Maybe the
terms of like a first party Mario game,
maybe the worst
this
Mario
is
game.
definitely one of the worst first party Mario
Yeah,
games.
that's fair. I don't. Yeah, I guess it's like off the top of my head. I probably like if I give me like a week or like a day, I'd probably find like or like an hour, I'd probably find 10 other games that are worse. But like Star Fox Zero, whatever. But um,
Mm,
yeah, like it's just exciting to like to see like there's actually some new different characters here for that, especially it's something that I'm assuming is in house. It's I really hate that Nintendo said wait for the credits before we could finally figure out who makes it. Just fucking tell us. I hate that they do that. But
mm.
yeah, I don't know. It's definitely gonna be a thing. Like I said, I don't like. I'm not super jazzed for it, but like if it comes out and reviews are really positive, like I'll probably pick it up eventually. But it's like I think just coming out in like in that November. It's one of those things where like it's like more so what's around it. Like that. The
Mm-hmm.
reason why I might not get it is just because there's so much more coming out around that time that I'm excited for. But going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, going on to the next thing here. Just an update about Nintendo World Championships NES Edition. We already knew about this. Coming out July 18th, they did announce that they're gonna have like leaderboards. Will be like head-to-head multiplayer, but it's I believe it's only couch co-op, but you can do like basically you can like race people's ghosts in modes, and then there's like other challenges you can do as well like that. So a little bit more to it than I thought, I guess. It kind of sucks. There's not gonna be actual like online play, like you can play like your friends directly. But I
True.
guess like doing I think I can't remember how the ghost thing worked. Like is it like your friend's ghost? Is it just random ghosts online? Like that's the kind of thing I want to know about. 'Cause if I can like race your ghost or like some other friends like uh, play against them that way, that'd be kind of cool, I guess. But um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's gonna be $30, or you can buy the physical the collector edition for 60. I'll maybe check it out. It also comes out it comes out July 18th. There's like four other games are coming out that week that I'm really excited for. I'm actually not really, but I want to play. Like a couple come to Game Pass and still play football. So probably actually, Gables NCAA football's coming out. And never mind, it's just not gonna
Oh
happen.
yeah.
It's not gonna happen. What about you though on this one?
I do love this, and only because it's the classic sort of style of games I grew up playing. Plus, on top of that, it's speedrunning stuff. I would love to see how much fun I'm gonna have to try to rack up like personal best scores, say like in Mario Brothers or like in Tetris or Balloon Fight or whatever that'll come to mind and stuff. Because a lot of this stuff seems pretty fun.
Yeah. Um, Next up here, some of these we could probably run through a little quickly. Gabe, stop me if you want to like add anything or say anything to this. So we have
Yeah.
Koei Tecmo is making Fairy Tale 2, is a take on the anime Fairy Tale. It's like a real time strategy, um, coming this winter. I got another one of these one, Gables. This is not a Tyler game.
Yeah, real-time strategy games are not really my cup of tea either. At the same time, I recognize that Fairy Tail is a big, like say, anime franchise and stuff like that. But unless it's like a fighting game or something like that, I generally do not like delve into anime games all that often.
Yeah,
The Dragon Ball stuff on occasion, the Naruto stuff on occasion, but yeah, this did not appeal to my interests.
yeah. Um, Next up, this one's pretty. I got a lot of people really excited though. Fantasian Neo Dimension. This was a game that was like it's like actually like an Apple game that was created by the creator of Final Fantasy. So it's a role playing turn based game. Where like what's cool though is like it's like an Apple arcade game exclusively on there. It's been on there for I think a few years now. But like it's kind of cool. Like you can actually like use like when you like do turn based, you can like kind of like move your attack so you can like how you're gonna like go about that attack. So you can like hit multiple enemies at a time. Like you can also like if you're going through a dungeon, instead of like you get like random battles, you can like add them to like you can like basically throw them like a fucking like almost like a case type of thing, and you can go back and fight those random battles later. So like when you're going through a dungeon, and like you don't want to like spend, you just want to like get through it, or you don't want to spend 2 hours fighting all these random battles and stuff you get. You can just go do them later. And so if you want to like, like it's kind of like it's kind of cool actually. Like this was obviously a game that was built for playing games on your phone, so you're probably playing in short bursts. So I get why that stuff is there, but it's like I actually kind of really like that idea. Like I don't know how it's gonna like. This is not a game I think I'm gonna like play. Um, but like I kind of like that's a thing that I would be interested in more games doing. Of the,
Yeah, it's the gameplay itself was interesting in some aspects and stuff, but yeah, this one didn't really strike me all that too much interesting, to be perfectly honest with you. I understand it's been on the Apple like store and stuff for the past few years and stuff. The gameplay mechanics seem kind of interesting, but everything else about it just seemed kind of like, I don't know, kind of bland for me.
yeah, could just because it's like an Apple game being ported to the Switch kind of thing. But
Yeah.
I don't know, like because like I grew up like JRPGs was like my favorite like my favorite type of game to play growing up. When I was like middle school, high school age and stuff. And like now it's like the reason like one of the reasons I fell off of them was just because how time consuming they could be. Being 80, it's like 100 hours in some of these. So it's like I don't know something like this where like we can like we just want to like get stuck sometimes. Where I want to play the game, but it's like I gotta like I'm like oh fuck I got like 2 hours of like shit I gotta get to get to the thing I want to get to. And it's like so like
Mm.
you got like an hour to play games. Like I really don't want to do an hour play this game like at night after work and like get basically like, get really nothing, feel like you don't really get anything done. So like kind of like having that as like like I said, like saving those battles for later, or like hey I got 20 minutes here, I'll pop on a podcast and like knock this out or something like that. Like I don't know, I kind of like that idea. So like I said, I'm probably not gonna check it out. I don't know how much this game's gonna cost, but I don't know. People are really excited for it, and I'm happy for them. So um,
Well, I hope it does get some good scores then. I mean,
yeah,
hey, this is definitely the type of game to where if everything all hits all right and stuff, especially with the gameplay and especially with the story stuff, then I think a lot of people will enjoy it.
yeah, yeah. Next up here, though, just a fucking random ass update here. Nintendo Switch Sports got an update. They're adding a basketball mode that's coming sometime later this year. You can play up with 4 people locally and online. Kind of reminds me of that. I brought up like jokingly in our prediction thing. What if they do that Mario basketball game, a sports game? Because there's rumors of like a Mario sports game being here. And I was like, what? I
Yeah.
kind of jokingly like brought up that Mario. What was that like 3-on-3 or whatever it was? And it was I think it was garbage.
Oh yeah.
And this basically just kind of looks like the like me version of that, I guess. Like I don't know. I remember like there was a was it the Wii Sports Resort? I think
Yeah.
had basketball, and I remember it just not being very good. So I don't know. Like it's coming out this summer. Gil's walking away here. But yeah, I don't. It's so weird. That game's been out, I think that game's been out for like 2 years now at this point, maybe 3 years. It's just weird what that now they're adding. It's gonna be a free update, so I guess whatever. But very random. I feel like probably most people are like I don't know how many people are gonna go back and play this game, but maybe for like more than a weekend. But whatever, it's free, so who cares? Next up, a game that this is really cool. Mio Memories in Orbit. This is like kind of initially kind of gave me like almost like Playdead vibes. They made like Limbo and Inside. Then like it kind of it's like a watercolor style like 2D like 2D game, but then it turned actually more into like a almost more like a Hollow Knight Silk Song type of game. And I saw that and I was like, so this is coming in 2025. It looks gorgeous. I love the design. Don't know if I'm gonna like I really like Hollow Knight for what it is, but it's like I'm just not good enough at that game. I'm not the biggest Metroidvania guy, like 2D Metroidvania guy, in many ways, but like um, I thought like man, the art design, the music, everything like that, like I was really digging it. Coming out 2025, but as soon as I saw this, like that trailer was over, I'm like, well, we're not getting Silk Song in this thing, so uh, I saw about
The whole Mio stuff.
yeah, I saw that. I was like, all right, well, there will be no Silk Song here. That's coming in 2025. Anything on that one, Gables?
I will say the introduction trailer seemed interesting enough though, but it just left me with like, okay, this is their attempt like with like say a Silk Song or something because I thought it was at first. And then I'm like thinking of just looking at it more and stuff and watching it. I was, okay, this is a new game.
Yeah, yeah. But it looks cool, but it's just I don't know. Next up here though, we got Disney Illusion Island. Also got a new mystery update. That's out today. Just like some new modes in there, so not too much in that one. But hey, that's cool. Free update for people out there that have that game. Game came out, I think,
Well,
like
yeah,
about a year ago. So very
yeah,
very
it was a
weird.
year ago.
Yeah. So I think the game's still exclusive on Switch, which sucks because I actually want to play that game. But it has like the online, it has multiplayer, but it's only local co-op, and I'm like, God, fuck off. Um,
God, what a missed opportunity with that.
right? Like, why do you charge for internet if you're not going to use it? Anyways, Hello Kitty Island. This is the one game that was spoiled for me. I saw I got like a YouTube blurb about a preview of people were doing previews for Hello Kitty Island Adventure, which is really funny.
uh,
Gables, if you there was a you remember the World of Warcraft South Park episode?
yep,
There was Butters was really into the Hello Kitty MMO game, and why
yep.
everybody else like everybody's making fun of him. You know what that game was called?
Hello Kitty Island
You're
Adventure.
goddamn right. 20 years later,
I
Gables,
remember,
the
and
game
I
is
thought it
finally
was the most
existing.
hilarious thing hearing that in the direct.
Yeah, yeah. Hello Kitty had the chance to do the funniest thing, and they waited 20 years to do it. But I guess this was like already. Well, okay, I take that back. This was already a mobile game, but it's just now it's coming to everything. But it's gonna be, I think it's time exclusive on the Switch. So, but it's basically like a Animal Crossing style Hello Kitty game. So cool. All right. Anyways, Gables, I think I'm gonna take the W on this one. I asked you last week in the prediction, will we get the Looney Tune sports games on NSO? And it didn't happen. But Gables, we did one better.
No.
We got Looney Tune Wacky World of Sports. We got a brand new game coming to the Switch. I think it's coming. Yeah, it's coming this fall. I was
Yeah.
like, fuck yeah, man! This game, it looks like shit, but god damn it, I called it. I'm taking the win on this one, Gables. Um, I was like, this game, it looks like complete ass. It's probably ass. But
It looks soulless.
yes, yeah, definitely. But it's coming this fall, and it's full price. So
Dude, you know you know when a game is bad or something. It's like when you look at the character models, it looks like it's so crappily done. And at the same time, I'm looking at Bugs Bunny and he's just literally staring at back in the screen. You can just see in the eyes like, oh God, there's no soul in there whatsoever.
yeah, yeah. I think the team that is making it is they're basically, this is like kind of what they do. They make like IP games that are mediocre to bad. So, um,
Oh
so yeah,
God.
uh, no
And this
surprise
was
there.
in a Nintendo Direct.
Yeah,
Sheesh.
yeah. But I mean, you'll have those. Next up here, this is the thing that like we mentioned that got leaked over the weekend. There's Among Us free update to Switch, adding like new crewmates and imposter rules, stuff like that. So I think some of the stuff has already been on it's already on like Steam and stuff like that, but it's like slowly coming to Switch and stuff. So that's out. It's free. It's already out. Next up here, oh Jesus Christ, Farmagia, Farm Magia.
I think that's what it was, Farmagia.
Yeah, we'll go with that. It's coming November 1st. It is a anime farming game because I asked you over under 1.5 anime farming games. And I'm gonna say it landed, and I said over, you said under. I'm gonna say it landed at exactly 1.5 because we got later on we did get a Lord of the Rings anime farming game. So it's kind of it's not quite anime, but
Lord
it's
of the
basically
Rings isn't
anime.
considered anime though.
It was like anime graphics. It looks like shit. But anyways, um, yeah, this thing. But in like this Farm Magia game, like you actually like you grow your team members and then you create an army and you fight with that.
That looks so that looks so bizarre and also looks so fucking creepy when you're seeing like little literal plants and stuff and you're seeing like heads of foxes just growing out of stalks and stuff. I'm like, what the
Yeah,
hell
it's just
is this?
yeah, it's like some like what if we make an anime farming game, Pokemon game? So I don't know. Like that's where we're at now, Gables. Um,
I do give them credit for the creativity and stuff like that, but at the same point,
I don't. I don't. It's anime.
I don't
It's
think
anime.
that
It's a farming
it's
game. It's the lowest. It's the lowest form of video gaming. Um, outside of maybe like
mm,
like an IP caching game like that Looney Tunes sports game. They're kind of the same bucket.
gosh, I
It's
thought it
Sonic
was battle
games.
royales.
Yeah.
I
No, there's good battle royale games actually. There's no good farming anime farming games. Um, next up here, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. It's coming January 16th. Kind of surprised there. It's like they said everything within here is supposed to be this year, and there's a few games that were 2025 that were in here. But it was kind of shocking to see a
Oh,
first party thing that was next year. But obviously it's early January,
hmm
so doesn't mean people because I think a lot of people are expecting March for the new Switch console to come out. So kind of works out there. Apparently, so this
So the
was a
fourth
week.
quarter of the
Go ahead.
I'm just saying, I'm just trying to wonder what's the fourth quarter of their financial stuff here. So it's like Is it supposed to be like up until say
Well,
March, or is that just
yeah,
first
January through
quarter?
March is the financial fourth quarter.
Okay.
So yeah, so they
Okay, so they got it technically inside of the 2024 is like initial
financial, yeah.
quarter, I
But they
guess.
said end of the
Financial
year,
quarter.
so I don't know. Like, but you know,
Yeah, I
Nintendo
know.
will say focus on the next 6 months, and then they like the first trailer will be like something that's a year away. So Nintendo lies
Yep.
constantly about their directs. Um, but yeah, so this is a Wii game that was ported to the 3DS, and this is
hmm
a port of the 3DS version to Switch. Um, yeah, so the
You know, at first, dude, at first when I hear you say that, I'm thinking to myself, okay, so it includes all the extra levels and stuff that was in the 3DS
mhm,
version, but also it kind of concerns me because the 3DS version was 30 frames a second as opposed to the Wii version, which was 60 frames, and it made the game more difficult with it
yeah.
being 30 frames a second.
That's why everybody says the game was actually really hard. And plus, like, well, I guess people are saying that like this 3DS version is better because you have to use the motion controls as well. So I guess kind of even out there. But people were pointing out. So we did find out who's making this game, and I can't remember the name of them, but they made like the House of Dead remakes for Switch that are like awful. So the people were like showing like there was like Digital Foundry and Game Explain did like some breakout videos of like the game, and like it's mostly like visual stuff, but like I
Mhm.
guess like it's not like this is not like a top tier port we're getting here, but it's a port of a port
Oh,
of a what 15-year-old game. So like I don't know, like
oh
I
boy.
I don't like I like Tropical Freeze fine. Like like I didn't love it. I thought it was a really good game. I liked it though. So I guess I'm not super pumped for this one. I guess especially the fact that like um, if people didn't like the Wii version that much because of the motion controls, and then the 3DS version was worse, do I want to play the port of the port and also pay $60 for it?
Hmm.
Probably not.
It really depends upon the reviews of the damn thing too. I mean, who knows? I mean, they did the thing with the House of the Dead stuff, but who's to say this is going to be a bad port?
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, but just say the team doesn't have a great history of making
No.
remakes and ports. So, but I guess like Nintendo owns like a piece of them. So I guess like they have like
Oh, they're more inclined to make this a good port, or
hopefully,
if
but
they
like I
know it's
said,
good.
like the like obviously it's like like some of the breakout videos we've gotten from like Digital Foundry stuff have not been great. But a game that does look fantastic. Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake is coming
Mm.
on November 14th. And then they also revealed that Dragon Quest 1 and 2 are coming in 2025. Those two games, looks like those two will be in a bundle together. And I was
hmm
confused. And I think a lot of people were confused, like why are you starting with 3 and then they like said, oh, 3 is like actually a prequel to 1 and 2. But
Yep.
every time I look at these things, I'm like, man, these look fantastic. But no, like I said, like they're just so fucking goddamn long that I'm like, I'm just not gonna play them. Especially coming out in mid-November. It's never one of those things where like, bad timing for me personally. But I'm excited for the people who are excited for it. I'm not trying to poo-poo them. I think every time I look at these, like I look like Live Alive, the Octopath games, all that. I'm like, man, I really wish I can get into these games and love them. It's just because it's from art design level and the music is great. But yeah, I've never been a
Oh yeah.
Dragon Quest guy. So what about you,
Oh yeah.
Gables?
I'm excited for this, dude. Like Dragon Quest 3. Dragon Quest 3 is one of those games where I've always wanted to get into, but because of it being locked on like specific platforms, I never really wanted to give too much of a try of it. Like Dragon Quest 3 came out on NES, it came out also on Game Boy Color for like remastered stuff as well. Actually, the first three games were like kind of like put on the Game Boy Color, but I'm really interested in playing these remade versions stuff because it looks fantastic. The HD 2D graphics look amazing. It looks better than some of the other efforts and stuff that Square Enix has put on the Switch and other platforms up until that point. It's a classic series. Obviously, the first three Dragon Quest games revolve around the Erdrick saga and stuff. So basically, you play as the warrior like Erdrick, stuff like that, and then his descendants are like inside of the other games and stuff, like for Dragon Quest One and Dragon Quest Two and stuff. I've never played those games all the way through. I do love the core aspect, the gameplay of Dragon Quest in general. I mean, I've never really beaten one of these games, but that style of like turn-based RPGs, they were classic for a reason. It's because this was the response back when from Japan and stuff like that, and over like American RPGs at the time, like say with Ultima and like this and you know stuff like that, like Elder Scrolls and stuff. They decided to do their own like turn-based sort of like RPGs. So Enix had like the Dragon Quest series and stuff, while Square had like Final Fantasy, which was their last game that they were going to produce and stuff like that. But it's like it's just so crazy to see this trilogy of games getting that type of a treatment and stuff. I mean, this has been like a literal roll with Square Enix that they have been doing over the past 5 years. I mean, not just with like bringing out games that you never thought would make it stateside, like Live Alive.
Oh, oh, lost Gables. I'm gonna pause this for a second. One.
So my overall feelings is I am very much looking forward to the Dragon Quest III HD remaster coming out later this year, and I'm equally excited to delve into the 1 and 2 remake next year.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Gables, we went there, then we went down. We got Fun Confusion. It's coming September 13th. Man, this is a roller coaster here. We just got some like shitty games. I say the game doesn't look good, but the game looked really bad from a visual standpoint on Switch. And like I was like, is this really what the game looks like? And I actually watched like a trailer of like I don't know if it was PC, but it was a non-Switch version of
Oh,
this, and it looks a lot better on there. Like a lot, and it still looks like shit, but like as a game it looks shitty, but like visually it looks so much better
dude,
on like other platforms. But man, fuck this game.
I literally had the same thought of like another game that we're going to be like talking about fairly soon and stuff because the way that game looked, it just looked rough. But for the Funko stuff, I mean, yeah, the Funko Pops game and stuff, that definitely did not look like the best.
Yeah, yeah. So next up here, Luigi Mansion 2 HD, just like a little blurb. Hey, it's coming out next week. Are you buying this one,
Yes,
Gables?
yes, I
Oh,
will be
okay.
buying this one.
I okay. I canceled my pre-order for this one because I'm like I'm playing some other games right now and stuff like
Yeah,
that. I'm like I'm not gonna have time for this now. I canceled it. And I had like I got it for like $40, and then I got hurt, and I'm like fuck, like I should have just kept it, but would have waited literally one more day. This is what I get for canceling my pre-order. So so I'm like, God damn it! Now I could have just got saved like a bunch of. I could have saved $20 and had the game, but I don't like. I kind of delete it because like there's other games I'm playing right now that I'm enjoying, and I want there's other games I want to play that I'm pretty sure I will join there. I'm like, those are gonna take me a while, and like I figure those games are gonna take me up to the time like until like football comes out because when it comes out, that's just gonna take over for me for a long time. At least well, until Madden comes out the next month, uh, and then at that point it's gonna be a coin toss. But I don't know. It's like for me, it's like Luigi Mansion 2. Like I didn't really love it on 3DS, and like, am I really gonna like want to? Do I want to pay 60 about 60 well 40 even $40 again for a game I didn't really necessarily love on 3DS? So I don't know, like I didn't think it was a bad game. I just like I got like halfway through it. And I was like I just kind of fell off of it. So and I love Luigi Mansion 1 and 3 are like Luigi Mansion 1 was like one of my favorite games on
mhm,
GameCube. But Luigi Mansion 3 was one of my favorite games. I think that was like 2019. That
yes.
was a fantastic game. I can't wait for the fourth. Like I'm really excited for the fourth one. But I just like I don't know. I'm not super jazzed for two. But I know, but apparently, yeah, you are. So I mean,
Well,
yeah,
yeah, I like the idea of like this being redone from like the 3DS stuff because, well, as much as I did like playing the 3DS version of Luigi's Mansion 2 and stuff, it you know the control stuff was really not too much to my liking and stuff. And so, playing on the Switch, playing with my Pro controller, doing all that other stuff, I think that I would probably much enjoy it more than what I did on the 3DS.
yeah. My issue was more so was just the more like kind of the gameplay worked where like you were just going and doing missions and coming out and
Hmm.
leaving instead of like just kind of like being like a seamless world like a castle like I just hate going back starting a new mission going back in I didn't like that aspect of it so that's more my issue rather than even like I totally forgot about the control side of it so next up Gables you're probably your game of the
Yeah.
show the new Denpa
Oh,
Man coming July 27th. Um, so this is like I guess also like an Animal Crossing game with mini
yep.
games. Apparently this was it's an extremely popular like a game in
Yep.
Japan, but like it's I guess it's been like it got taken off like the Apple Store in Japan or something like 3 years ago. So, but I guess this game is gigantic. So it's probably one of those games like it's gonna come out. It's gonna sell like multi-million copies, but it's like 90% of them are gonna be in fucking Japan. So that's
I
probably
will
where
say that
why this is
this was
happening. I don't,
definitely one of those games that was on the eShop that I would always like on the 3DS eShop or something. I look at it, it's like, okay, Denpa Men, how are these games and stuff? They looked all right, they looked okay, and never. It's one of those games where I always looked at the art of it, like on the store and stuff. Never wanted to play it.
yeah, definitely looks like one of those like shitty like like on the Wii games, like they would like make
Mhm.
like their shitty knockoff Mii's and put them into a game, and that's definitely what like it looks like to me. But yeah, I don't know. Next up here, Metal Slug Attack Reloaded. This is out was a shadow drop as well. It's only $10, and apparently this was also we keep saying like pretty much also a Apple game
Yeah.
as well. So, but apparently it was a really good version of that. So it's kind of cool, I guess. There's like there are pretty good like um, phone games out there, that mobile games out there that are just getting ported to consoles eventually later on, which is great because I've always talked about like there's so many like I played a bunch of like I played a handful, especially like not so much in the last few years, but like in the 2010s, I always check out like games. And I'm like, I like this, like, but there's like free to play aspects to it. And I'm like, I would gladly pay like 10-20 bucks just to have this game instead of having like the the free to play aspect
Mhm.
involved. It so it's kind of cool that like we're seeing more and more of that. So I do like the aspect of it. So anything on that one? Up?
No, not really.
All right. Darkest Dungeon 2 is also coming to Switch, coming to everything July 15th. I think we already knew about this coming to like other consoles. I guess this was like confirming it's coming to Switch though. But I know this game is fantastic. But like, there's people out there that I know like that, like I like people I listen to and people I watch like that for fun will play like games on like the impossible hard mode where like if you die you lose your entire save for fun. They do that, and even they say this game is really hard.
Hmm.
So it looks great. I like looking at it, and it's like, well, if people that do that say it's hard, and then I'm out. So, yeah, and then we'll
I
give us,
haven't really tried the Darkest Dungeon series. All I know it's a roguelike game where you take your party members into like specific like caves, specific missions and stuff, and then try to survive like each
yeah,
round and stuff. I've never had too much interest in playing it, but I've heard people absolutely love this series. They absolutely love the
yeah,
challenge. They love the idea of like basic like just basic survival stuff, And you know what? When it comes to like roguelike games over the past like say 3 years or something like that, there have been some fantastic games that have come out, and apparently this one is a franchise. This is not a franchise, but this is a series of games and stuff that people absolutely feel like are fantastic. So I'm happy that people that just own a Switch or something just want to play this on the go.
yeah. Um, Next up here, we got the NSO updates. I also mentioned this, Gables. I asked, will we get a remake of the Four Swords games? Well, it didn't happen. Well, but instead we got the NSO versions of them. They're out. We got Metroid Zero Mission finally out. We did actually predict that would be
Mhm.
here, but we did not predict though. Turok and Perfect Dark will be coming. They're breaking off. There's like a mature like app now on for the 64 that they're putting like mature games on. So Turok and Perfect Dark are on those. So, but I guess the Perfect Dark mod or like ROM that they put on there is awful. So I guess
Yeah,
it runs terribly and it's like it's really fucked up.
I
So
think
which is
it's really
pretty wild.
hilarious that they end up putting up probably one of the worst, like ROMs, like one of the worst versions of the game. Probably didn't do hardly anything with the controls, and they touted, "Oh, hey, it's on online. You got online to play directly with this game." And that's the most hilarious part is because when you go to the rare replay stuff on the Xbox side of things, like on the Xbox One, that has reworked controls. It feels
Yeah.
fantastic playing Perfect Dark, and it's even more so of a reason like, hey, it's fun, it's fine that you get a chance to play classic Perfect Dark or classic GoldenEye and stuff on Nintendo Switch Online, but the aging of the controls are horrible, absolutely horrible. We're in back when you had to make do with just the C buttons instead of just dual analog sticks.
Uh-huh.
God, I don't miss that. I don't miss that control at all.
No, no. Yeah, it's wild. Like we get the remasters of GoldenEye and Perfect Dark. They've been on they're on
Hmm.
Game Pass. Like Perfect Dark's been on Game Pass for years. It was on 360 a long
Yep.
time ago. And it's like the good version of those games is on
Yep.
Xbox. but the online version of those games is trapped on the fucking Switch. It's just trapped. Like, come on, like work together here. Like, why? Like, fucking come on, Nintendo. Like, just play ball. Jesus Christ. Like, they did all this work. How about they give you the remasters you can put on their console to sell, and then they get the online part. Like, god damn it, what the fuck? Because I would definitely like to like. I'm not saying like I play like I get like hardcore into it, but like if I can just like dabble in fucking GoldenEye online, fuck yeah, man. Let's do it. You know. Um, but yeah, anyways, it's cool to see Four Swords Online is out there now, so you can play online together. So that's good. Next up here, Phantom Brave: The Lost Hero. Um, Gables, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't remember a goddamn thing about this trailer. It looks like another one of those anime games that we've seen like a
Well,
dozen
let's
of.
see. Phantom Brave. That is a game made by NIS America. Well, just NIS, the company of NIS. They're responsible for like the
Okay,
Skya games and like other types of
you're
like
not you're not.
other types of like games upon like oh god, not just Skya, but there's other games that they've been put out as well. I remember Phantom Brave because that's an obscure PS2 game and stuff that was actually had a port on the Wii, and now we're getting a I'm not too sure if it's a sequel or if it's just another game inside the series though. But I was very surprised to see Phantom
Looks like a
Brave,
sequel.
this series
Yeah,
in general, because I didn't think that there would be a lot of people that would be interested in like playing this type of game, but yet at the same time I understand the core aspects of this game. I mean, you get to possess certain items like say like inanimate objects like say rocks or like other like trees or other stuff. I've never really played the games themselves because it seems like a little bit more involved of like a turn-based like strategy RPG and stuff. But yeah, I don't remember too much about the highlight of this stuff because I just really just wanted to zip through everything. But if it turns out to be a good game, I mean, I may give it a look.
yeah, that's coming out next year. So we have that. Next one you've
Yeah,
talked about it, but we got the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. So yeah, we don't have a date for that one yet, as
it
far
just
as
says
I know.
2024.
Um, yeah, so yeah, like I will say though, I told Gables like if you want a obviously because of like this game like this has a lot of different IPs in it. If you're worried ever about this game like getting taken down again off of digital shops, you might want to pre-order it and pre-order it
Yep.
now because they've been selling out pretty quickly. I got a PS4 and a Switch one pre-ordered just to be safe. I don't know which one I'm gonna get one version, but I don't know which one I'm gonna get. But I kind of want to get on PlayStations because the online will be better, I think.
Mm.
But yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that one. But next up, Gables, a game that you admitted that you don't give a fuck about, Mario Party Jamboree. That's coming out October 17th. There's 5 new boards and 2 previous boards that are coming back from 64 games. There'll be a up to 20 player online mode where like you can like do like it like, almost looks like almost kind of reminds me of like Fall Guys in a way. Um, it's not you can't play the like a full. It's not like the regular game, but it is like it's like a certain mode where you play a bunch of like mini games and shit. And like I think eventually like they slowly like knocking people off the list to get to the last person. So kind of like the aspect of it. It's kind of cool. Like the see kind of actually kind of cool if they did like a Mario if they Nintendo just made like a Fall Guy style Mario game. I'd actually really I think I'd actually really like that if they did that. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's another Mario Party. Like it's gonna sell a ton of copies. I get why they're doing it. Like we
Right.
talked about last week. It's like puts us on the Switch with a gigantic user base, and people will buy it. I think the other ones have already sold like 15 plus million a piece. So this one will probably sell a bunch as well. Um, but I definitely like. I had my time with Mario Party back in the GameCube days, and um, yeah, I have not really looked to get back into too much since.
I have not been into a Mario Party game since N64.
Oh, okay. 4 was the one I got when I got my GameCube. My parents bought me 4, and me and my buddies got really into that one. And then obviously like they did like a lot of gimmick shit that sucked, and like they made a lot of the Wii and the Wii U and all those that were pretty fucking terrible. So yeah, but I mean it seems like they turned around, especially the last
Yeah.
couple. So that's awesome for them. And then crazily enough, we're an hour into this podcast, and we just got to the middle
Yeah.
here. So we got Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. That's coming September 26th. I thought a really cool trailer, really cool reveal there. You're playing as Zelda. It's in the Link's Awakening style. At first, I was freaking out because I was like, "Oh my god, is it Link to the Past?" And then I got really excited because like, what if it's Link Between Worlds? It's neither of those. Like I said, it is a Zelda style game, but it kind of like almost looks like it took one of the mechanics from like Breath of the Wild, and it's basically like what if we just made a 2D Zelda game, where we use like kind of like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom mechanics with no actual combat. And at first, I was like, I don't know if I love this, and I still don't know if I'm gonna like love this as a full fledged game. Like how am I gonna feel about this 15, 20 hours in? Like what is this game actually? Is like do we have dungeons? Like how is this gonna work out? We don't know that. I'm like I'm gonna buy it. Like I'm like kind of like wavering and doubting it right now, but like it's gonna happen. I'm sure once we see like a full breakdown of what this game's gonna be, like we're gonna see more of this game. I'm sure between now and September 26th, and when that comes out, when that trailer comes out, I have full faith that that trailer's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna be buying this day one. So what about you?
Dude, I absolutely love the ideas of this game. I love the creativity of like just solving a lot of your problems based upon like getting a couple, like say, learning a couple aspects of like copying certain objects or copying certain monsters in order to try to like accumulate all the different types of like things to solve certain puzzles. I mean, this looks like it's very fun in a sense to where you can still like go around like an overworld and stuff like actually like the original kind of Legend of Zelda and stuff, but because you're gathering materials of like different like objects or different like monsters, different like bodies of like surfaces, like say like with water or some, or with tables or with beds or something like that. I thought it was really funny at the one part. And so if you try to get into this fortress, you just stack beds on top of each other, then a trampoline to get
Yeah,
inside there. I like that. That's really cool. It does kind of give me a sense of like say like a Minecraft sort of aspect to it because you have all these
yeah,
different
that's a good
types of
point.
like
Yeah,
gathering materials and then you have to go and try to advance like into various spots based upon just you're just limited by your creativity at that point to try to solve certain puzzles. But I do like the idea that like Breath of the Wild, like Tears of the Kingdom and stuff, you're left to your own vices and to where your own devices and stuff to where you can have a totally different experience in sort of solving certain like puzzles or certain things than like say the next person that does it, you know, because I liked that freedom inside like Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild for like Echoes of Wisdom and stuff. I'm very curious to seeing like how well they're going to be implementing a lot of this stuff throughout this like a whole game. Like say if this is like a let's say this is like like 10 to a 15-hour game and there's like all sorts of various stuff that you can copy and all those other things. I mean, I definitely would I definitely would question like how long they can go through the quality of that stuff, but at the same time, I'm so fascinated in playing that because these core mechanics looks awesome. I mean, the cherry on top is that you're playing as Princess Zelda. You really haven't had a chance to do
mm.
that with Nintendo and like at the helm and stuff at a first party like Zelda game, and even like barring the whole Philips CDI stuff, you know.
Yeah. We don't have to talk about those.
I mean, I understand, you know, like with the whole partnership with Philips CDI and stuff and those Zelda games there and stuff, but it just feels like this is an organic thing. It's something new. It feels like it's enticing to want to give a play because it's not like traditional Legend of Zelda. You're not just playing Link, just like battling creatures with swords or something like that. You're doing something completely different. And it's not just Zelda imitating what Link is doing, it's Zelda
mm.
having her own type of attacks, her own type of like arsenal that she can use in order to combat things. And it makes sense from like almost like a story perspective too, because you know Link he has the Triforce of Courage. Ganon he has the Triforce of Power. Of course he's going to try to overtake things. Zelda she's got the Triforce of Wisdom, meaning she has to use her intellect and all sorts of smarts in order to try to get past enemies, get past certain puzzles and stuff. And so combining that with sort of like a Minecraft like thing to where you're gathering resources in order to solve puzzles, it makes a hell of a lot of sense. So with this, I'm absolutely excited to try this game out. This is
Yeah.
something that you don't see Nintendo do too often in regards to the Legend of Zelda series. And they're always experimenting with new gimmicks for the series itself. That's what makes these games in the Zelda series truly unique because it doesn't matter the time frame in which they do it, it doesn't matter what the game looks like, it doesn't matter like who's playable and stuff, they always have the core aspect of you're going on an adventure, you're going to like do all sorts of various stuff, battle monsters, solve puzzles, go through certain dungeons or certain this or that and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's always revolving around the Triforce, always revolving around like aspects of characters from like past games and stuff. So yeah, it's definitely a worthwhile experience for me.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I just kind of want to know what the limitations are going to be with these. Like, I imagine that they're not going to let me go out with like 100 fucking
Yeah,
like bad guys with me like roaming around, or I could stack up like 100 beds. Like, I don't think it's going to have the freedom of like obviously like, I'm not expecting it, but like a freedom of like what Breath of the Wild Tears can be. I'm just kind of curious like how well it's going to work in that aspect. Like, it's definitely going to be a thing where like I'm curious what like when we get like if we get previews or when views come out. I want to see that. Like kind of what to say. Like I don't think it's gonna be like I said. I think it's I have full um, I anticipate completely that it's gonna be a great game. I want to know how that's just gonna work out.
hmm.
Then lastly here we got they announced a Hyrule edition Nintendo Switch Lite that's also coming out the same day. So I mean this is like I think they predict they said they're gonna sell about 15 million Switches this year. This is how you get that number is by getting people to buy another Switch. So yeah, so but it's kind of cool they're making a Switch Lite this time. Normally they
Yes.
do like the full fledged Switch. So some of these we could speed through though. Just Dance 2025 edition. Weird that we didn't have it at the Ubisoft Forward, but we got it here. That's coming in October. We got that same trailer already that we got at Summer Game Fest. Lego Horizon Adventures. No, it's just this holiday season, so I'm expecting November for that probably somewhere. We got another trailer for that one. I think it's the same trailer, like I said, we already got for Summer Game Fest. Stray is coming to Switch. Good for them, like getting that triple dip. We already
Yeah, not just
PS
triple dip,
PlayStation.
but remember what I said earlier that there was a game and stuff that kind of looked sort of rough that I was going to allude to. Yeah,
Oh
this
yeah,
is what I was talking about. The port to Stray, just seeing the video of what this game looks like just running on the Nintendo Switch and stuff like that. I mean, it there are certain aspects of it that look fairly rough. I mean, the characters, the cat stuff, and some of the level designs look okay, but when you go in like the outside scenes, you can literally just see like the limitations show on the Switch because the smudges, like the
yeah.
cutoffs of like certain aspects of like the geometry and stuff. It just looks like this port is definitely like a product of love here to where they're making sorts of like cuts and like all sorts of various little cuts and stuff to try to make this game run fairly decently on the Switch. But yeah, it just looks sort of rough to me.
Yeah, yeah. Stray is like definitely a game that looks gorgeous and runs 60 frames per
Yes.
second on the modern console. So I mean, we've been seeing that especially as we're getting later in this new console cycle, where like the ports have been getting we're getting less and less ports, and the ports that do happen have been getting rougher and
Yep.
rougher. So no surprise there, but hey, it's like coming out there. It's still a really good game. So as long as it runs well, like it definitely I think like the how gorgeous the game is that sucks that like that really is a really good selling point to that thing, but it's also a really good game. So I think despite that it'll still be like, if you haven't played it, what the fuck are you doing? It's a good game. um Another game here, Tales of the Shire, a Lord of the Rings game. Is basically like a farming sim game for fucking it's like you know it's coming to Switch, it's coming out this year. So Gables game you mentioned you're really excited for, Ace Attorney
Hmm.
Investigation Collection, coming September 6th. Has multiple was it Eli Edgeworth? You said
Miles Edgeworth.
one of those is like Miles Edgeworth. Yeah, sorry. And one of those games was a Japan
Yep.
exclusive, so it's exciting to see that it's coming to America. Well, I'm glad we're getting those. Like a lot of games that were stuck in Japan that are coming over here, and also they pointed out that like you could switch between like the new like they it's all like hand animated stuff.
Hmm.
You could switch between the old one and the new one, so
Yes.
that's pretty cool as well. So um, next up, the 100 line Last Defense Academy. This is from the Danganronpa
Yep.
people. This is coming out early next year. Basically, I actually kind of like the premise of this, where it's like you are like it was like I think they said like 15 kids like at school, and you have to defend it for 100 days, and it's like a tactical RPG. And I really actually like that. So it kind of reminds me like almost like a Pikmin type thing,
Hmm.
where like you had like instead of you have 30 days to collect X amount of parts or whatever to fix your
Right.
ship to get up to like it's this one's like I guess more like XCOM actually in a way where like you have to defend it against an alien attack. But I don't know. I kind of like the like I am not a fan of like Danganronpa games, but like I like the premise of the game. So,
Yeah, this definitely
uh,
gave me the vibes of Danganronpa. I thought it was an actually new Danganronpa game
oh
up until it's like, oh, okay, looks completely different. Okay, never mind.
yeah. Next up, we had another game I kind of like the premise of, but I'll never play. Romancing Saga 2: Revenge of the Seven. It's like the story of it. It's coming October 24th. It's a turn-based battle game, but like, well, I actually was like, it's basically like seven heroes from like a long time ago that are like they're like kind of been forgotten to time, and now they're pissed, so they're coming back to like to kill everybody, and you have to like stop them. So I like that idea of just like seven people that saved the world at one point coming back uh, hundreds of years later to get because they're mad that people forgot about them. So I just like that. Um, but the last but not least here, Gables, finally after uh,
7 years.
7 years last week, Metro Prime 4. We got an update on it. Obviously we talked about Retro took over in 2019. But we got released. It said next year. No, I didn't know timetable other than next year. We got some snippets of gameplay, like 30 seconds of
Hmm.
gameplay. Japan got like some different gameplay as well. Though
Oh,
they got so there's like 15 seconds of gameplay there that we didn't get here. Um, but yeah, it looks really good. It's coming next year. But there wasn't really a lot of other details besides that. But Gables, what do you think?
I thought it looked fantastic, dude. I mean, from the opening cinematic thing where Samus arrives on her ship to the first bits of gameplay we're seeing of her running and stuff. And you see that open terrain thing, like the space pirates attacking the Federation, like a Federation base or something like that. And then while you're going deeper and deeper inside, you're seeing all sorts of carnage happen and stuff like that for space pirates being like pretty much like killed or something like that, And then you go inside like the base itself, and like you have all this like battle between like space pirates and like some bits of Federation stuff, and ending in the culmination, the reveal it looks like of the main antagonist looks like one of the previous bounty hunters and stuff from previous Metroid games and stuff.
Yeah, Metro Prime 3
Yep,
and
three
Hunters.
hunters, Silex. That was one of the rumored things of him being a villain because even as far back as like offshoots, that one of that the offshoot Metroid games or something that's not really a Metroid game, Federation Force actually had a tease
Yeah,
that Silex was.
so
I know,
weird.
right? You get the tease of the antagonist of Metroid Prime 4 inside the freaking 3DS game that hardly anybody played because it wasn't Metroid.
Yeah, Metroid's turning into Kingdom Hearts. You got to play all the weird offshoot games to get to like, you got to play the rhythm. You got to beat the rhythm game to get like 15 seconds of shit that sets up the
But
next game.
dude, this looked so good that this literally tells me that this is going to be a cross-platform game, dude. This is going to be running on both the Switch and also a new console because the game looks so
Yeah,
good that people are saying it's Switch, like it's running on the Switch. I don't think so. I think this is running on the new system, and we're seeing a DLSS thing play into effect here because this looks so fantastic for being on just the Switch.
yeah. Well, we did like obviously like they're either hiding something or it's still a ways away because it like we got like what like 30 seconds of
Yeah.
gameplay here, but it was like quick like 4 or 5 second snippets. Like it never showed us like seamless like anything going. And so like that's the thing that concerns me is like okay we're jump cutting a lot here. So like I like according to like Digital Foundry, I think it's running at 900p
Yes.
at 60 frames per second. So could technically this be Switch One? Yeah, especially the way like I said the way they're showing it in snippets. But yeah, I think it's safe to say this is going to be like a
Yep.
cross-gen game. Yeah, but I guess Gables overall though, like 1 through 10, what would you give this one?
Okay. Well, 1 through 10, huh? I would give this a 9.5 for me.
What?
I would definitely give this a 9.5 for me.
Wow.
There were definitely some low points of stuff I didn't like, but even barring like say the stupid shit, the ones that hit high really did hit high. I love the Mario Luigi stuff.
Yeah, I guess
I
yeah.
love
The Marvel's vs.
yeah,
Capcom.
exactly. I
Yeah,
love the Marvel's Capcom collection and stuff. Legend of Zelda, like Echoes, the Echo of Wisdom and stuff. Metroid Prime 4, finally getting some gameplay stuff. Even like the Switch Online stuff for the old like games for like Link to the Past, like Zero Mission. As strange as it sounds, yeah, Turok and like Perfect Dark as well. And even like just the whole aspect of it was just something completely out of left field, for a lot of that stuff to come onto here. Like we weren't expecting a new Zelda game like in that extent. We were expecting like ports of Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. For the
Yeah,
Metroid Prime 4, we thought that this would be shown here inside this direct, which we were right. But at the same time, I wasn't expecting it to look like that, and also I wasn't expecting it really to be like a possibly like a mid 2025 game. But the high highs were just excellent, and quite honestly, the MVC Arcade Collection put it over the top for me, so that's why I'm giving it a 9.5.
yeah. Okay. Well, like that state of play we had, like I thought it was a bad state of play, but like the Astrobot saved it for me,
Yeah,
so I get it to a certain extent. I still gave that one like a six though. I think 9.5 is crazy, because like to me, I gave the Xbox Showcase like a 9.5. To me, that's like 9.5 is like one of the greatest of all time, and I would not put this anywhere near the top tier of like Nintendo
right. I
Directs.
understand that.
I get like from a personal standpoint and then like just like an overall and general standpoint, like outlook. Like to me, like the big stuff here was like these are like the first party stuff. These are like B games. Like this is not the 3D Mario. This isn't Tears of the Kingdom sequel. We're not getting like the big games here. This is like I said, we're getting like a Mario Luigi game, which is like that's like a C tier game for them. The game we haven't got in 9 years. Like the 2D Zelda game, which is I was like it's like a B tier Nintendo game.
Well,
It's gonna do really well. I'm sure it's gonna be a good game, but like it
I
does.
will say this, Tyler.
Okay, we'll put A tier. We'll put A tier.
I will say this, Tyler. If that MVC stuff was not inside there, this would have been an 8 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at. I'm an 8 out of 10. But I'm also grading on the curve of like I said, if this was 2018 and we got this, I'm like we're like 2018, 2019. I'm like okay, like this is gonna be like I look at it like kind of how we're looking at like PlayStation this year, where it's like okay, we're not getting the big guns. We're getting like I would say this holiday is better than PlayStation holiday this year,
Absolutely.
but I would say like I'd put it like closer to like what we're looking at this year though, where it's like we're not getting the big games, but we're getting like offshoots of the
Mhm.
big games, and that's kind of where I'm looking at this as like. But I like grading a curve like this is year 8 of the Switch. Like this is more than like we're like all we've been getting is like we're getting like fucking Mario and Donkey Kong like mediocre Mario Donkey Kong
Right.
remakes, Princess Peach game, and we're getting all these ports and remasters. So yeah, like to come out and like yeah, they're gonna have what 3 first party games that are all like it's Mario Party, which isn't like a big game for us, but there's obviously like it's just a big franchise in general. Like it's just it sells well to families. Mario and Luigi coming back for 9 years is great, but yeah, it's like a top tier. So like yeah, I'm an 8 out of 10 on this one. Like I said, like grading on the curve of like year 8 of the Switch. So one point for every year the Switch has been out at this point, or every year we've been into the Switch. So yeah, but yeah, like I said, really I've blown away by what we got from this direct. Way better than I think everybody was not expecting a lot, and yeah, it was pretty great overall. But we'll skip. Yeah, we'll skip the rest of the news. We'll get into what we've been playing. Gables, I have not been playing much of anything. I've been playing more Dragon Quest
Hmm.
Inquisition, going back and playing that. Like I said, I picked up for $4 last week with all the DLC and everything. So um, I am like 30 hours in. I've already like I surpassed like where I put like 40 hours in when it first came out 10 years ago, and I like the 22, 23 hour mark. I actually got to that point. I got to like a certain point where like I complained about like you have to like earn power points to unlock the new areas, and I got to the point where I was like I needed like 30 points to unlock the next area, and I only had 6. And you unlock points by doing side missions. I almost like rage quitted it at that point, but then I looked it up, and you can actually like buy points, um, which is
Hmm.
great. And like they're kind of pricey, but I just bought a bunch of points because like cool. I don't want to like fucking do fetch quest for 5 to 10 hours to like unlock the next area. So now I have almost as many points I need for the rest of the game. It seems like. So I've been going through that. I'm doing some side stuff, trying to do stuff like that. But like I'm mostly trying to like I'm not like going crazy on my way like I did the first time, or like I do in other open world games. And I'm just trying to like focus on the stuff I'm actually like the side quests I actually like want to do, and I'm focusing on the main story. But I'm really liking it so far. It definitely like brings me back to that time of like peak Bioware,
Right.
which is a which I love. That's one of my favorite eras of video games. So it also makes me sad because it's been like 10 years since we had like a fantastic Bioware game. But yeah, anyways, that's all I've been playing. What about you, Gables?
Okay, so I finished 2 things this past week, and one was my Pokemon Red run with Charmander. So Charmander, Oh my gosh. I finally went through the Elite Four and the Champion. It took a little bit this past week in order to do so. I ended up going into the Elite Four with a level 75, I think, Charmander or something like that to start off with. I got past the first of the Elite Four, Lorelei and stuff. I ended up getting lucky against her Lapras because her Lapras missed twice with Hydro Pump, which would have just knocked out Charmander like in one hit. But I got all the way up to Lance, and I ended up losing to his Gyarados first thing because Gyarados critical hit with a Hydro Pump in like the worst possible time possible. Because up until that point, I mean, had him down literally to like about like a little under half with Slash and whatsoever. But so run one wasn't exactly successful. I actually tried like about 4 or 5 different times and stuff in order to try to get through the Elite Four. I actually made it to the champion once, but I ended up losing to his Blastoise. But no, the run happened, and I got it consistent to where I had to get Charmander to about level 91. I got Charmander to level 91. I went to the Elite Four, and I ended up beating Lorelei fairly easily. Like, at this point, I just used the same move set that I had been using. I tried experimenting with, say, like, with Sword Stance, tried experimenting with Double Edge. Submission, I was not going to use because that move's kind of crap in Generation 1 because it does recoil damage too. Double Edge does recoil damage, but it's also got 120 base power. But yeah, I tried Sword Stance and that. I'm like thinking, no, this is not working for me. So I just stuck with Slash, Flamethrower, like Fire Blast, and also Dig. By leveling up a little bit inside of the mansion on Cinnabar Island and stuff, I was able to get at least about level 81, I want to say. Yeah, like about level 81. Then I used the 10 rare candies that I collected to get to 91 and stuff. Went through the Elite Four, went through Lorelei pretty good. Bruno was fairly easy. I just used Dig to knock out Onyx and stuff and used Flamethrower to knock out all his fighting Pokemon, including Machamp, which I didn't really like take a chance like with say using Flamethrower. I decided to use Fire Blast because I wanted to make doubly sure this damn Pokemon was going to get out in one hit. Then go to Agatha. What's hilarious is Agatha was probably the easiest Elite Four member inside of this run. I mean, I even lost once to Bruno in one of his in his fucking Hitmonchan because last week when I tried to fight against Bruno had his Hitmonchan hit me with Ice Punch, and I end up getting frozen, which is an automatic like reset because there ain't no way that I'm getting out of that status without being hit by a fire attack, which that's not going to happen because he only knows that Hitmonchan only knows Thunder Punch, Ice Punch, Counter, and think like Mega Punch. But for Agatha, it was fairly easy. Starts off with Gengar, like level 56. I just used Dig, take it out with one hit. Took out her Arbok and her Golbat by using Flamethrower. Haunter and her level 60 Gengar I took out with Dig as well. So Agatha was probably the easiest Elite Four member just for me to get through. Unintentionally, I thought this would be the most trickiest one, so I didn't lose against her. But finally got through Lance. I ended up using Slash on Gyarados, got a good chunk of him going. He hits me with Hyper Beam. Hyper Beam only does like a little smidgen of damage and stuff, but I had enough time to like hit Lance again. I mean, he used a full restore on this goddamn like Gyarados, so I had to use Slash not once but twice. But I took off that. The Dragonairs were easy to pick off, so I picked off both of his Dragonairs. Aerodactyl was the next one, rock flying type. So what I had to do was I just went ahead and used, I think it was Fire Blast. Yeah, I used Fire Blast because I wanted to see how much damage that would do. It got a little bit under half, and at that point, I just decided to go with Flamethrower or some and just get it out. At this point, I'm like at a smidget of health with Charmander, and I'm facing off against his Dragonite. I ended up using Slash, and he ended up just using Barrier for some off random reason and stuff, and I ended up knocking out his Dragonite. So I finally get to the champion. So as I'm facing the champion, I take out his Pidgeot fairly easily with Slash. I take out his Alakazam and stuff with like Slash as well. Take out which one? Arcanine with Dig. Take out his Executor with Flamethrower. And finally with Blastoise. Blastoise, it literally took me up until like a move here. Because the first time I lost against his Blastoise, I had used Dig first turn. That was a bad mistake, because he used Withdraw, increased the defense, and I ended up losing to a Hydro Pump next turn. What I did, I started off with Slash, since I have more speed than his Blastoise, got him underneath half. He uses Withdraw. I get Slash, knock him out. So I basically made the right call, end up beating Pokemon Red with a level 92 Charmander. So that was definitely a challenge and a half. First part of the game, relatively easy. Even with, like, say, with Brock and stuff, Brock took a little bit to get through, but other than that, it was pretty much smooth sailing up until I got to the Elite Four. Then I had to literally try, like, I kid you not, like 4 or 5 different times in order for me to actually get the run that I really wanted and beat the champion. So, yes, I'm done with Pokemon Red for the time being. The other game I beat, the expansion for Destiny 2, the final shape. This is definitely the best expansion that Bungie has ever done for Destiny 2. Excuse me. And I'll tell you what, going up until that point, just the story stuff has been clicking. The character like banter between Crow and also with Cade 6 was also awesome. Inside the missions themselves, Tyler, it's like there are 9 missions really in all. It felt like an entire length of of the original Halo. It really gave me that vibes to where it's like there are different types of like missions you have to go to random certain points. You have to try to solve certain different puzzles and stuff. There are some missions where you have to memorize certain like certain pictures or something like that, and then try to match it to ones across from the battle on like the battlefield, like across the map or something, in order for you to advance on. So I had one of my friends help me out in terms of like playing co-op with me. We were able to get through the last bit of the final shape and stuff. And I'll tell you this, dude, and this is going to be a little bit of spoilers for anybody and stuff. I'm not saying anything at storyline-wise, but I'm talking about the final battle. The final battle, Tyler, is a 12 on 1 final boss battle. You have 12 players against just the witness, and it is freaking epic. You have 12 players like just combine their forces and stuff in order to just try to just kill this fucking like bullet sponge or something like that. And you have all these other enemies that are coming through. It's like literally war, dude. It's like your wave of like freaking guardians, his wave of like little like all these fallen, all these taken, all these hive like creatures and stuff. It was an epic fight to the point where it's like my friend and I were just like 2 members of this one big ass team and stuff, and it was the best way I felt that they could have ended this expansion. Because you want to end on some epic, do the first ever activity to where you have literally 12 players against one CPU, like a giant raid. It felt like a giant raid battle. That's what I would akin it to, because you have this epic boss. It has multiple sequences and stuff like that, but it was freaking fun from beginning to end. And at the same time and stuff, this definitely felt like a culmination of like Destiny 2 as a whole, because with fighting the witness and like doing all this other stuff in between and stuff, it feels like I just wrapped up a giant saga from like over the past 10 years instead of just this one battle. Because you had all this other moving like this all these moving parts and stuff, all these other like various crap and stuff, and then all of a sudden culminating in this one epic final battle against the witness. And it definitely it definitely is probably one of the best moments of the year for me in regards to just battling, like just a final battle, like a game set from this year. So I really did enjoy from beginning to end the final shape, and I could end up playing through the final shape again with my other couple characters because it's that good. Like I literally hadn't had the sensation of doing that since well, since like say 2020, when like I was going through the whole aspect of like Europa and stuff like that with multiple characters. Witch Queen was definitely a fantastic expansion as well, and now I understand why people like have thought highly of this expansion because it's literally one of the best game releases of the year.
Nice. I'm glad. I mean, it seems like people are pretty happy with it. So that's pretty
Yeah.
awesome that they're able to turn around. So that's good.
Other than that, man, I am pretty much like that's pretty much it for me for this week, dude.
All right. All right. Well, very cool. Well, I think it's gonna wrap it up for us. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like all this, please check us out. We're on everything: Twitter, Facebook, podcast services, YouTube. There's there's links down below in the show notes. Click on those, you'll find us. Appreciate it if you go all those places. 5-star reviews, likes, thumbs up, subscribes. Anything you can do to help us out. Share it with your friends. Tell your friends all about us. Really would appreciate it. We're just two guys that love video games. We
Hmm.
do this because we love it and it's fun. So but yeah, thank you guys. I was
And
telling.
I've been Colonel Gables. Until next time, everyone, thank you for listening to another fun-filled episode of the Drunk-Nerds podcast.
Nate
Yeah,
Gables.
too
Too soon.
sweet, man.
Bye guys.
See ya.